Hi, boys and girls. Today we will be reading a book about buildings, buildings, buildings. We'll be taking a look at buildings with patterns, a variety of shapes, colors, and sizes. Let's take a look at what are patterns. One circle is a shape, but two circles together form a pattern. A pattern is something that repeats. Buildings, Buildings, Buildings by Judith Bower Stamper. It's a building. A building is a place that shelters people or things. Your community is full of all kinds of buildings. They provide a place for people to learn, work, shop, travel, or play. You learn in a school building. A school can be big or small. You go to different school buildings as you grow up. Let's look inside. Inside a school, what do you see? What do you think people do inside a school? Libraries are built for learning too. One thing all libraries have in common is lots of books. Let's look inside. Inside a library, what do you see? What do you think people do inside? You can shop for food in a grocery store. A grocery store can be a little shop on the corner or a huge supermarket. Let's look inside. Inside a supermarket, what do you see? What do you think people do inside? A post office is a building where workers send mail all over the country and the world. Big post offices in large cities handle millions of pieces of mail each year. Even a small town post office handles mail in large numbers. Let's look inside. Inside a post office, what do you see? What do you think people do inside? Hospitals are buildings where doctors and nurses work. Hospitals have patient rooms, operating rooms, recovery rooms, and rooms full of special equipment for saving lives and treating disease. Let's look inside. Inside a hospital, what do you see? What do you think people do inside? Adults go to work in many different types of buildings. A huge office building has many small offices inside. A factory has large rooms with machines. Factories make everything from cars to toys. Let's look inside. Inside a factory, what do you see? What do you think people do inside? There are special buildings where journeys start and end. At an airport, passengers get on and off planes at big buildings called terminals. Trains and ships have terminals too. Let's look inside. Inside an airport, what do you see? What do you think people do inside? Do you like sports? Millions of people do. Cheering fans, packed basketball arenas, ballparks, and football stadiums. Let's look inside. Inside a football stadium, what do you see? What do you think people do inside? Some buildings were made for sharing beautiful art and music. People hear music in concert halls. They look at art in art museums. The buildings can be beautiful too. Let's look inside. Inside a museum, what do you see? What do you think people do inside? Our country celebrates its history and heroes with buildings that are monuments and memorials. The Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. honors President Abraham Lincoln. Let's look inside. Inside the Lincoln Memorial, what do you see? What do you think people do inside? Every building has a special job. Can you guess what these buildings do? So, boys and girls, after looking at the pictures and reading the book, did you see any patterns like circles, half circles, squares, triangles, rectangles, and lines? Any 3D shapes? Try to find some patterns and see if you can draw them. Maybe you can make patterns too. I'll see you next time. Bye.